I left Bhutan about 2 weeks ago, and it was for professional reasons mostly. There's only so much you can grow as a journalist in Bhutan, and only so much scope for digital or online journalists. People are still watching what we call traditional media, still following traditional media, even though social media is in a way quite influential in Bhutan as well. In fact, I got into a defamation suit because of what I posted to social media. There were a lot of things that added up over the last couple of months that influenced my decision to move to Nepal. And I'm actually quite excited about the move, a little sad that I had to leave Bhutan, because if given a choice, I would have loved to stay in Bhutan and continue my work as a journalist.
Let's have a cup of tea. No, thank you. Let's take some food then. No, thank you. Oh, I insist you must have some alcohol. Come on, don't be shy. You haven't said yes to anything. You must have a sip of alcohol. Okay, a sip of alcohol. Bhutanese culture doesn't know the value of no. So today, I'm here to talk about the useless no in the Bhutanese society. We justify the devaluation of no in a word that exists only in the Bhutanese language, and that is nya. Let us leave your doing aside. Nya is actually a polite refusal when you actually needed to say yes. In most of our homes, we have ritual where we invite some monk and they perform rituals for 2 to 3 days. So at the end, we offer them money in envelope. So my grandmother, she's the one who does the offering at home, and at the end, as she goes with an envelope to the head monk, he immediately refuses. No, I can't take this. It goes back and forth and it's a tussle, and every year, without any failure, he accepts the money. I did not understand why he had to say no if he was to accept it. So my grandmother accepted the no as denial, and sometimes she took the envelope back, and I think we will happen in a highly undesirable situation or any other, Don't be so different. If it's good, then our relationship will be a lot honest. We will disagree with each other on each other's faces instead of each other back, which is still happening now, even at this present moment. I'm speaking, and some of you may be having conversation at the back. Last year, when I submitted my first petition against the non-consensual sharing of sexual material to the Prime Minister, he asked me one question: how can you go be fine? And he got me thinking. I want to talk to you about the traditional custom we have, and you all know it's a night hunting. Night hunting? See, that's a reaction at full makeup. Night hunting is unfortunately popular, where you hunt for your prey, which is a woman in bed at night. It is funny. It's funny sometimes, and it is funny a trivial situation. But night hunting, it's not funny when it is sick and sad. It is sick and sad, especially when it is indiscriminate sharing of sexual material and destroying the life of innocent people. It is sick and sad, especially when the women out there who can't say no. We still have hundreds of children who can't have access to education and basic social facilities because they don't have proper documentation of a father, and this is sick and this is sad.
If we had kids who were not afraid to take risks, who were not afraid to think, and who had a champion. Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be. Is this job tough? You betcha. Oh God, you betcha. But it is not impossible. We can do this. We're educators. We're born to make a difference. Thank you so much.
I have spent my entire life, either at the schoolhouse, on the way to the schoolhouse, or talking about what happens in the schoolhouse. Both my parents were educators, my maternal grandparents were educators, and for the past 40 years I have done the same thing. And so, needless to say, I have had a chance to look at education reforms from a lot of perspectives. Some of those reforms have been good, some of them have not been so good. And we know why kids don't learn, why kids drop out. It's either poverty, low attendance, negative peer influences. We know why. But one of the things that we never discuss, or we rarely discuss, is the value and importance of human connection. Relationship. James Comer said that there is no significant learning without significant relationship. George Washington says, all learning is understanding relationship. Everyone in this room has been affected by a teacher or an adult. For years I have watched people teach. I have looked at the best and I have also looked at some of the worst. A colleague once told me, they don't pay me to like kids, they pay me to teach a lesson. The kids should learn it. I should teach it, they should learn it, case closed. Well, I said to her, you know, kids don't learn from people they don't like. Some people think that you either have it in you to build a relationship or you don't. I think Stephen Covey had the right idea. He said, you just have to turn some simple things like apologize, tell a kid you're sorry, and they get shot. I taught a lesson once on ratio. I'm not really good at that, but I was working on it. I got back and looked at the teacher's edition. I taught the whole lesson wrong. So I came back to the class the next day and said, look guys, I need to apologize. I taught the whole lesson wrong. I am really sorry. And they said, that's okay, Miss Pearson. You were so excited, we just let you go. I have had classes that were so low, so academically deficient that I cried. I wonder, how am I going to take this group in 9 months from where they are to where they need to be? How do I raise the self-esteem of a child and his academic achievement at the same time? So one year I came up with this bright idea, and I said to all my students, you were chosen to be in my class because I am the best teacher and you are the best students. They put us all together so we could show to everybody else how we can do it. One of the students said, really? I said, really. We have to show the other classes how we can do it. So when we walk down that hall, people will notice us. And I gave them a saying to say, I am somebody. I was somebody when I came. I will be a better somebody when I leave. I am powerful and I'm strong. I deserve the education that I get here. I have things to do, people to impress and places to go. They said, yeah. You stay long enough, it starts to be a part of you. One day I gave a quiz, 20 questions. A student missed 18. I put +2 on his paper and a big smiley face. And the student said, Miss Pearson, is this fair? I said, yeah. And he said, then why'd you put a smiley face? I said, because you were on a roll. You got 2 right today. And when we review this, won't you do better? He said, yes, ma'am, I can do better. You see, -18 sucks all life out of you. +2 says, I know that. So teachers become great actors. We work when we don't feel like coming, and we listen to policies that do not even make sense. And we teach anyway. We teach anyway because that is what we do. Teaching and learning should bring joy. How powerful our world would be if we had kids who were not afraid to risk, who were not afraid to think, and who had a champion. Every child deserves a champion. An adult who would never give up on them, who understands the power of connections, and who insists that they become the best that can possibly be. Is this job tough? You bet it. Oh God, you bet it. But it is not impossible. We can do it. We are educated.
as I say, we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around. We aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
If I live in China, or even Russia, or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of this legal injunction. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic amendment privileges, because they hadn't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere, I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere, I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere, I read of the freedom of speech. And somewhere I read that the greatest of America is the right to protest for right. So just as I said, we aren't going to let dogs or water hoses turn us around. We aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We have got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I have been to the mountaintop. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about that. I just want to do God's will. And He has allowed me to go up to the mountain, and I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you all, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to our promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not concerned about anything, and I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of